You have worked in, shall we say, different strains of the journalistic tradition. You were a reporter for the Philadelphia Inquirer. You wrote the great book, The Selling of the President, made your name with that groundbreaking book that anyone who covers politics has to read. But this book is a little different in terms of sourcing. So I say to you, without this being accusatory, what is the standard for the veracity of the facts or the statements or the assertions made in the book?
Well, there are probably, I haven't counted them up, Mike, but flipping through it, I think there are about 75 named sources in the book. There are a handful of people whose names I had to leave out of the book because they were afraid of the reaction they would face if they were quoted as saying certain things. Sarah instills an atmosphere of fear. It's endemic throughout the Wasilla area. This has been going on since she was mayor. She tries to have it both ways. She intimidates people into refusing to talk about her on the record, and then when they talk about her off the record, she says, oh, look at that, anonymous sources. Well,
or when they talk about her on the record, they become someone with an axe to grind.
That's right, and already I've heard from a couple of people who've talked about her on the record who have been told you better watch your back. Todd and Sarah are not happy. You're going to hear about this. And another thing, Mike, is that there's a great and noble tradition of anonymous sources in journalism. Look at Deep Throat, Woodward and Bernstein. They kept that source anonymous for 40 years. Every day in the New York Times, the Washington Post, you'll read stories where so-and-so was quoted anonymously, name not given, because he wasn't authorized to speak on behalf of such and such. It's standard practice. And what set it apart up there was the very real reasons people had for being afraid of the Palins. These people can be vicious, and it's a small town. And I didn't want to get any. Well, obviously, if I told someone I would keep them anonymous, I did that because you have to protect your sources.
This is Mike Pesca in for Leonard Lopate on WNYC and WNYC.org, speaking with Joe McGinniss, author of The Rogue, Searching for the Real Sarah Palin. Well, on the issue of anonymous sources, yes, it is. They are used by all sorts of journalistic organizations. Recent study just showed that actually their uses are declining. I think when the New York Times or NPR, which tries not to use anonymous sources except in rare instances, when they use them, there are rules that the reader knows. For instance, the New York Times is communicating everything that's being put in the mouth of an anonymous source has somehow been confirmed some other way, and NPR tries to do the same thing. So you read this book and you come across phrases like a friend says, an acquaintance says, an attractive white woman says, one former house guest says. Is it enough? Was it enough that they said it, or is every time there a quote in the book an effort made to confirm that beyond the anonymous source?
Every statement made by a source in the book, whether named or not named, was something that I've confirmed with other people. That's why it took such a long amount of time for me to do my reporting up there and to write the book. I kept working on this even after I left by telephone, checking things out, confirming things. There were many, many, many things that I was told by people that I couldn't confirm or verify to my own satisfaction, and you won't find them in The Rogue.
If there is a quote in the book, even attributed to an anonymous source, do you stand by not just that person maintains that, or do you stand by the fact that, to the best of your knowledge, that thing that the person is asserting actually happened?
Actually happened.
Okay.